Classic WoW passion. Why do we get it? Why do we run out of it? And how do we get more of it? Well, we can definitely get less of it. Even recently, with the release of Ulduar coming soon, I've noticed that the patch levels have dropped off for a good amount of people. And that's okay. WoW is kind of a cyclical game, and people come and people go depending on what there is to do at the game at the time that they're playing it or not playing it. I wanted to talk about this today because this is something that I feel like I've kind of solved. I've never outright quit WoW because of a lack of passion for the game, and I would define my passion for classic WoW as endless. Sure, I'm not playing every day recently, but that's far from quitting the game, and I really don't see myself really ever quitting WoW. And I take some pride in that fact because ultimately your passion is your responsibility. Folding Ideas' recent video on why it's rude to suck at World of Warcraft, he discusses the concept that playing WoW is an active instrumental play. Just like learning an instrument, there are rules, there's practice, there's being better or worse, and that's all part of participation from the bottom line. Just engaging in the act alone validates the ideas of the other participants and sets forth a value structure and a hierarchy to match it. And to even imply that you are not in line with these values and wish to play the game anyway is an attack on the work that your peers are already doing. Sure, you could claim that this is an unconscious process and you can't do anything about it. People don't decide what they think is fun, but in the same way that you could fall out of love with your spouse, people don't decide what they think is attractive. And humans really don't like that unpredictability. You used to be the person that they could interact with in WoW in this very predictable way, and now you can't. Now that's changed and they don't like that transformation. But what can you do to combat this? It's not really your fault that the game is garbage and that you don't want to play it anymore, right? Well, I'm willing to argue that it is better for you to take responsibility for your lack of excitement, which is great because that means that there's something that you can actually do about it. So I take it upon myself to keep an eye on my patch levels and respond appropriately to prevent burnout. And basically this just means letting WoW fade into the background. I could easily push myself to get more things done in the game, finish leveling my alts, raid more, grind more gold, do more GDKPs, but ultimately you have a set limit on the amount that you're willing to do with no direct immediate benefit to you, and once that threshold is reached, your patch is gone, and so are you. And so I still have characters left to level. Sometimes it's fun to push past the feeling of, oh, I'd rather not do this and just grind on an expansion launch or some new release of a raid tier, but doing this regularly is bound to cause an issue down the line and burn you out. Let's say it's a Thursday night, you've cleared your 25 mans for the week, and some of the people in your guild want to do a 10 man on their alts. You don't have any alts, but they want you to come anyway, mostly because everybody else in the guild is offline, because there's nothing else to do. You accept the raid invite and summon, spend hours clearing the raid, passively hoping that you get something unexpected out of this, or that you'll have such a blast that you don't mind that you're doing it for no reason. Neither of these things happen though. Your guildie's new alts have tons of gear that took you months to farm yourself, and you feel drained from the experience. Why are you subjecting yourself to this tedious and frustratingly boring process? Well, you shouldn't just accept these feelings of resentment and say that you can't do anything about it. You should listen to it and address it. Many people think you're a jerk when you ask, what's in it for me, when those 9 other desperate guildies message you. But at the end of the day, it's for their own good. Sure, they don't get their group filled right away and might even have to pug a fill, but I'm one step further from never interacting with them again. If I don't get anything out of it, then I just don't go. It's important to ask, but what do you actually get out of the game normally? This is a different answer for anyone. It could be a medium to socialize, a way to gain validation or respect, a thing to do to give you a sense of pride and accomplishment, a way to kill time. Maybe it's just having fun with friends or competing in a competitive landscape to crush your opponents. Ask yourself what would have made you enjoy that raid. If somebody thanked you for carrying everybody's alts or complimented you on your gameplay, if more of your friends or people that you knew were in the run and you guys were laughing and making jokes the whole night, maybe if they paid you, what if you gotten a really rare item that isn't a performance increase but just something cool not many people have, like a pet or a mount? Whatever your answer is, only play WoW to get those things, and only do those raids to get those things, and then just stop playing whenever there's nothing else to do. These things require a little bit of sacrifice, and if you feel like you're sacrificing too much and not getting enough back, it's because that feeling is probably correct, and you need to think about how to get more of what you want out of the game. For me, it's to socialize with my friends. WoW gives us all something to talk about, have a little fun, and our focus is to compare ourselves to the performance of others and dominate them any way that we can. The actual raids themselves really aren't that fun or hard at the moment. If anything, they're just kind of stressful and annoying. And to be honest, I almost never do things in the actual game with the people that I hang out with most. But that's totally fine, as long as I continue to play the game and keep getting the benefits of that social interaction and maintain that relationship, because we have something in common. And I found many ways to revive my love for the game in classic WoW. I remember being a kid playing Wrath of the Lich King and wanting to be one of the cool people who were really good at the game, who has all the good gear and all the cool mounts. And now I feel like I'm actually doing that. I'm really making my younger self proud. For me, it's an identity, and because of that, if I notice my love for the game fading, I like to just kind of mess around on things and find something to fall in love with, because I like being the person who just plays WoW all the time. Whenever I play other games, it's just not as fun, and I just don't really like myself as much identifying as somebody who plays a game that isn't WoW. On my quest to get every class to level 80, I thought the Druid would be a chore, and from the leveling guides that I looked up, it seemed like the gimmick was just to pull a bunch of mods with Starfall, wait a minute, and then do it again. But after messing around with it and finding my own style, I really liked it and had a ton of fun almost instantly. I went from level 70 to 74 in one sitting, and even though the Druid wasn't really something that I had any interest in, or related to my identity as a WoW player, or involved any of my friends, it literally had nothing to do with the normal reasons why I play the game. I was still able to start this new thing and derive enjoyment from it. Of course, I didn't have to do this. I could just raid log and still have plenty to talk about with my friends. I didn't make any new friends doing it, and it didn't really greatly improve my life. But it was fun, and I got more out of the game, so why not? There are always a million reasons why you should be doing something else other than playing WoW, wasting your time, and they're probably good reasons, but getting lost in a new adventure is a priceless experience. It's really hard to find these days. There are endless things to do. I have tons of ideas all the time, like just rolling a new class on a new server, and just talking to literally anybody that I see about anything, and just trying to have fun that way. Who are the people that I would meet? How long would it take me before I started raiding? What would those raids even look like? Would we be spam wiping? How long before I leave that guild and join a better one? This game is full of adventures waiting to happen, experiences you could have and things that you could become. At the end of the day, this game is a social game, and people mostly play it for social reasons. And so if your guild disbanded and you can't find a new one, it's really hard to get a lot out of the game, especially if you don't know anybody who's also playing. But those are solvable problems, and if you throw your hands up in the air and leave, blaming everyone else, it's really only you who miss out. While you are right that the game sucks, you don't get to enjoy it while other people do. We've all had times where there's just too much going on in real life to even think about playing WoW, and we have to tackle that first. But that doesn't satisfy any of the reasons why you started playing WoW in the first place. And so, as soon as your real life gets back in order, you'll jump right back into WoW, and you'll feel guilty about it because you could have been playing that whole time. And you'll begin the cycle of quitting and coming back every other patch like everybody else does. Oftentimes we forget what started this adventure and why we started playing to begin with, and I hope this video offers you some perspective on that. Even the busiest people in the world still find time to play WoW, and not because they're addicted, but because fun is really hard to find these days. That's something we could all use a little bit more of. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it.